You're watching the PN2 Podcast.
Hey everyone.
Oh god, are we alive?
We are live.
Oh god, we're live!
I hope
Oh
so.
god.
Okay.
Oh.
I
think, hey Devin, I know we're live, but listen, I think Control M might be quick mute, like hotkey. I'm not sure. Let's see. Yes, it is.
Sweet.
Go to Skype, Control M, mute yourself.
Does that work?
I don't have to hear you anymore.
Yeah, just do me that favor.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear you. Hit the mute button.
So we got a little podcast going on. Did the Steam event go off yet?
Not yet. Well, I think we still have a minute or two, maybe.
We have 1 minute before everything really kicks into third gear.
All right.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
That makes
So, how was everyone's morning?
It was pretty baller. Thank you for asking. How about yours?
I know I kind of slept. So
It's already Sean's evening right now.
When did you actually sleep to, Sean?
I don't really know. I got up at like 8 a.m, but then I don't really remember what I did. So I kind of just like wasted away throughout the day.
Nice.
Listen. I'm gonna ask the important questions here. Tell us about the yellow noodles and what did you do with them?
Oh, I've got them over here. I didn't. I got
What
halfway and I was like, I'm not really hungry anymore. So.
Well, that's a shame. Starting today with
That's
real
a
tragedy.
goddamn shame.
Yeah, I got some Bachelor's Deli Box noodles, chicken flavor. Big flavor, bigger noodles.
Well, I appreciate.
Old claim.
It's I was just about to say it's very, very somewhat presumptuous of it to
Look,
just say.
They've raised the bar with bigger portions and new recipes. They hope you'll find Deli Box even more enjoyable. Bill Waterline here.
Did you read that off the box?
Yeah, I did.
That's amazing. they've oh my god, I've never heard anybody get so fucking up themselves that say we've raised the bar here.
Excuse me.
Noodles are so good.
They have reinvented noodles.
Yeah, how the fuck? Okay, you can't raise a bar that's like below sea level. It's like
No,
Well,
you
it
just
can only
have to-
go up. So I mean,
You gotta raise it above the water fill
but
line.
what?
To perfection.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
I pulled a funny, guys.
like literally anything you do to
Right.
those noodles will improve them.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, that's a wrap, guys. Thanks for showing up for the podcast.
See
That
ya.
was
Fire noodles. Okay.
Don't forget to subscribe to our fucking noodles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Did the Twitch alert go off? I haven't seen it.
Anyway.
Probably. All right. So what are we doing
Well,
today?
how
We're
about-
probably talking about something besides noodles.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
don't we
Today,
go into the patch notes for the latest update?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Who wants to read them out?
After we do a proper introduction, right?
Yeah. What's the proper introduction protocol?
Okay, well, we introduce ourselves. I'll start. Hello, guys. I'm Swain. I'm programming the game. Crinkles, where are you?
I'm right here. My name is Crinkles, and I'm doing all the art stuff in the game.
Yes, the Matt's Jolly.
Yes.
We're being... Sean, what is your role? If Walrus is hosting, what are you doing? Are you hosting? He's
know.
speaking?
I'm the co-host. He's the true host. He records and plays the game. I just say dumb shit and
Okay.
occasionally ask an audience question.
Well, that,
Excellent.
that guy there was... that's Walrus. That's Walrus talking.
Yeah.
If this was a tree, I would be the sturdy trunk holding up you guys who are the beautiful leaves. There you go.
No, you would be the ground, Sean. Everybody walks over you, but
Except it's a
we all
drought,
need
so
you,
you're
otherwise
like
we'd fly off into
dying
space.
terribly.
Yeah. Alright. Okay. So we also have Devin, who is a beautiful man who makes music.
Yeah. AKA
Music
DJ
and sound.
Lockdown.
Hello.
There he is.
There's
DJ
beautiful
Love.
Devin.
Our boy.
Devin is the reason I wake up in the mornings, and for some reason, Blood Sun is still playing in my fucking head.
So good. I'm so
No
happy.
joke.
I'm so happy I was able to be a part of that, Devin.
Excuse me.
That was, hey, it was exactly what I needed. A goofy little vocal hook. It was perfect.
I feel so proud.
Swain.
Walrus, were you the rise from your graves thing?
I was.
Put your headphones on.
Blood Sun.
Yeah, so good.
Hey guys, did you like my Blood Sun impression?
I thought it was Walrus.
Yeah, that's for context. Any of you guys who don't have the game yet, and shame on you, Blood Sun is a song that plays during Murder Rooms 4 and 5 currently.
Yes.
It is the number one. Very high.
It'll be number 2 as soon as Devin gets this next track out. That thing is freaking bananas.
I heard a bit of that, and it sounds very nice.
Yeah, I had it on loop for about 30 minutes, like when I first heard it. I
And for
just couldn't
context,
help
it's like a 15-second loop, just so you guys know.
it. Yeah, I mean it was maddening, which was perfect. So frankly, Devin, you're like 90% done.
It's just a 15-second loop. We just put it in as is. See how long until somebody's just like, I can't stand this anymore.
Yeah, but then they turn it off and then they realize something's now missing in their life.
Yeah.
That's how you get them.
That's how you destroy them.
I wish my tinnitus was that loop. I wish when I'm in dead silence, that's all I heard.
Yeah.
It was just that loop.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
That's
Banana
what
Phone, but you don't kill yourself.
No, you just stand around headbanging.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we've done our introductions. This is everybody here. And
Yes.
for today's podcast, I think we're probably going to try to cover as many questions. I mean, you guys ask us whatever you want to.
Yeah.
Except for when is the game released. We'll cover that, don't worry.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're also going to kind of give you guys a state of where we are concerning the upcoming beta, because that's the next major update that's going to take place. We have done the last final alpha build. This means that everybody who's supported us with Pack B, thank you very much. You would still have access to the game all throughout its final release. Like you have the game forever, but your part in supporting us during the alpha is now over. You are now going to be helping us with the beta, and we can't thank you enough. That was fantastic of you to stick it out and give us a hand when we needed you most. So thank you guys. Now we're going to be going on to the beta, and everybody from the alpha who is participating in, hopefully you'll stick with us and continue playing your game and continue helping us bug fix and report crashes and all that fun stuff. And for those of you who supported us with Pack A and have been waiting patiently, your time is about to come. So again, keep the faith, hang tight, and we're going to have something beta worthy for you very soon. Now, when people say beta in games, they typically mean a state of the game where it's kind of like mostly content complete, but we're like testing the features, doing balancing, that kind of thing. And while that would be wonderful for us, fact is, Matt has been, that is to say, Crinkles, for those of you who don't know, Crinkles is Matt Crinkles.
Hi.
There's, what a big reveal. What a plot twist. Matt has been working on stages constantly, while I, Swain, have been working on revamping the character system, the door and spawning system, the interactive system, the cutscene system. The game is leagues further than where it was before, and on the back end, the game should be running a lot better. Still memory leaks, we're working on that right now, but the foundation of the game is so flipping solid, it has never been more ready for a beta. Problem is, that's also taken me 4 months to do it, and it was a choice, but we had to do it. But it was necessary. Otherwise, the game was going to just end up being a bunch of like, okay, story mode. Go into the room, kill the bad guys. Next room, kill the bad guys. Then kill the boss, who's a slightly harder bad guy. Mission complete. We want so much more than that. And now the game's finally ready for it.
Yeah, big dreamers here.
Yeah. So, and Matt has been, while I've been doing that, and it's basically, I feel like I'm inventing the wheel, then reinventing it, then inventing it a third time just to show I can. Well, it's started to feel like that. Matt has been actually working ahead of me, creating content for story mode. He's been making the stages. He's been designing the set pieces. He's been working on the characters. In our downtime, we've been talking about the story and understanding how we're going to be building this. We basically, I now only have to catch up with Matt's content, and as far as updates go with the story modes, that should happen a little bit more quickly than the previous updates for the alpha/arena mode have been. So that's my tirade on all of that, why this has all taken so long. And the good news is, again, this isn't just 4 months wasted working on stuff between both of us, me and Matt, trying to just redo crap that we've already done before. Matt's actually worked far ahead, so it should not take quite as long for me to catch up with him. So All of that being said, today I'm hoping we can talk a bit about episode. I don't know what is like Hitman or something. Alpha 1.7, update 1.7, as well as Beta 1.0 when that finally comes about.
Right.
So anyway, Sean, are we going to do any like live testing stuff? Are you going to be playing the game today while we?
I got the Steam build.
I can set
so
that build in the background, but all your characters should still work, so Steam build should be fine.
Yeah. Can I just say
before
before we continue on with this magnificent thing that we're doing,
Yep.
if you want to send the boys some questions, go in the chat and type at Gentleman Roris and then ask a question. I'll put it in a little document, and near the end of the stream, I'll be asking the boys some questions so you can get your fix of knowledge. You know,
And it may be tempting to do at Project Nexus 2 Podcast, at PN2 Podcast. Don't do that, because Sean is going to be in the game since he's hosting the YouTube channel and will be playing during the recording. He's doing all the recording stuff, so he will not see your questions, and he won't even care. So I would say don't do that. At Gentleman Walrus, that's how you're going to get.
Do it to me.
Yeah. So while we chit chat for the first 20-30 minutes, we're already 9 minutes in. We'll show you some of the new features while Sean plays. You can see. Remember, for those of you who are new, our feed of what we're seeing is 30 seconds delayed. So a lot of times you'll see us responding to things that happened 30 seconds previous to what you're viewing. So keep that in mind if something seems out of context. But you either are seeing or just have seen Sean do the character name randomization. That's just a little tiny thing that's in there. Shortly after this, you're going to get a taste of the tutorial if you haven't seen that yet. For those of you who had not played and created a new character. We don't force you to play the tutorial with your older characters. You pop right back into the headquarters. But with new characters, you have the option of starting at the tutorial. Little checkboxes up at the top right if you want to skip it. So anyway, yeah. So this is where we are, and send your questions in, and we're going to start talking a bit about what is going to happen here in this build. So one of the things you'll notice is that origins are in finally. I had to create a new buff system from scratch to support it. And because a lot of these things are contextual, sometimes it's just like flat unarmed damage, but sometimes it's related to something that's happening in the moment, like how many squad mates you can have. Like it modifies a current existing value. So this character just got dropped off in front of the headquarters. This is the outside of that whole area, and so that's what's going on. So your character gets a little bit of like pre-story before you're actually playing Arena Waves. Sean, don't kill him, no. So here we are.
Yeah.
Origins are in for any of your characters that had them and picked them. When you go to your stats for your character, you'll be able to see what the origin was that you had picked in case you've forgotten. Mouse over it, and the little tooltip thing will tell you what the abilities are that you've gotten for that in case. Because you never would have known what it was going to be, but now you know. Sean's witnessing the cutscene system there. Just a couple guys chattering. Cutscene can be all kinds of things. They can be dudes just talking a little text over their head. They can be full narrations, which you're about to experience, unless you're experiencing it right now. So, Matt, any notes on the tutorial, since you basically put this stage together like a year or something?
Yeah, I put this together some time ago. So it's like it was really, really nice for like when you finally breathe the life into it, like to see people running around in it. I'm especially fond of like the little dudes walking around autonomously. And of course, like just when I went through and retextured everything to not look like garbage, and my phone's ringing. Cool.
Nice.
Hold on a second. Matt's got a call. Hold on.
No, it's
shut up.
They're dead forever now. Okay, where was I? Yeah. Like and it just gets me thinking about like how quickly you're going to be able to come up behind me about all this story mode that I've put together. Because like what am I, like 3.5, almost like a full 4 sectors in? So like that's just what I'm super hyped for. Like when all that stuff is like put together much more quickly than I can expect. So
one overworld sector per year we've worked on this game.
It feels like it.
So that's one of the things Matt's been working on. When I say he's been working on stages, the format for the game, give or take, as far as story mode is concerned, is you'll go through a series of sectors. Each one represents an area of this like infested city, and in the city, you've got things like the residential sector. You've got Matt chewing ice in the microphone. You've got the industrial sector. And in each of these sectors, you also have a variety of missions that you're going to be playing. Some of them will be parallel, as in you get to kind of choose which one you want to do in what order. Some of them are mandatory and sort of like forced on you. And we're trying to design the game in such a way where as you play through the different missions, once you've beaten them and advanced the story, you can always go back and play those missions again to try to unlock stuff, whether it's achievements or actual unlocks and game advancement, like you're trying to find secrets to, increase or enhance your playing experience. We also want to give you the option of playing your arena character in those missions so that you're not stuck doing just arena stuff with your arena guy. Like, it would be nice to train your guy up and actually play the game with him. But because story mode kind of requires a lot of maneuvering stages based on the things that certain characters can do, like Jesus can fly, your character can't fly probably if you don't end up taking the Jesus powers. So you might get stuck in a stage, and we're okay with that if you've already beaten it and that's going to be a consequence. But there's a lot of tuning that's going to require. Oh yeah, you guys just saw the cloning vats with the
Yeah. Like, I was thinking about how, like, when you put together that the camera pan and how it kind of came up behind those consoles, and I was like, crap, we really got to change up some of these textures because they were like the flat old style.
Yeah, you'll notice that some of those things, like the computer screens, the terminals that they're connected to, are now highly advanced textures. They're more up to date with what we have now than the old school ones, where we were still kind of going for like the quick cartoony look. But now
demonstrating that I can learn.
Yeah. Sean, did you notice the little turnstile spins when you go through it?
Yes, I like that very much.
I scream with glee every time I go through it. It's such a cool thing.
Devin is setting up, or has already set up, and I haven't included, a little click, 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 click thing for when you go through it.
Yeah.
I want it to cost you $1, but
That would be funny.
Like you start the game with like $3 or something.
Yeah.
No, even worse. It's like actual DLC. To enter this part, please send PayPal $1.
Yeah,
Give us your credit card information. We won't help you.
A lot of games have saves. We got turnstiles.
Yeah. Otherwise, of course, you're stuck with taking the van.
Yeah.
You've got to drive the van there. So, did you guys like the little van at the entrance of the tutorial? Huh? Just like the April Fool's thing, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Sean, is your game frozen?
No, it's me tabbing out.
Okay.
I forgot to turn off
That
Steam,
that
so-
about gave me a heart attack.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Right. Every time when you click out of the game, it's still filming the game, but it's stuck. Yeah. Because that was actually an area where we were having a freeze, not during the cutscene, but definitely.
Yeah, it was like towards the end of that very same cutscene.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Quartermaster's not too different than you guys remember, other than getting to start with some like starter gear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We really got to get that, and by we I mean I, really got to get the weapon registration thing going. So if you lose a weapon in a stage, it's gone. If you sell a weapon that's not registered, you get like 10% of the cost or something. Like, so it's harder to farm stuff. But once you have a weapon that's registered, you can just be as reckless as you want. Just go in with your favorite guns and run out of ammo and just drop them and forget about them because they will affect you.
You wind up getting them back, yeah.
Mm.
It's a pretty sluggish-looking character.
And he's got the biggest gun.
Well, it was a big, heavy gun, too, so...
That big cheated gun you got there, son.
Where'd you learn to cheat like that?
Dev builds.
Death build, yep.
I learned it from you, Dad.
I learned it from your father.
Absolutely. Man.
So, Sean, because there's not a lot of early game stuff that's very different, other than killing your character and coming back to life in the medbay now, you can feel free to, if you need to, switch characters to a more experienced guy so you can try out some of
I
the...
don't know if I've got one.
What did...
we showed off the head leaps, but now that the quick dodges are in, where you tap space and you kind of like do a zip. Like,
Yeah, that zip dodge is like super handy, especially when fighting golems and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like feature stuff. I guess we could talk about what some of the revamps are, but honestly, so long as it's working, I don't even give a crap. A lot of the game is going to look very, very similar and unchanged in a lot of ways. Murder Room 1 looks better, and also we got to show off Murder Room 5.
Yeah, we'll get there. We have to. Having gotten done with Murder Room 5, I'm super hyped to start working on the next one, as well as like additional arena maps.
Yeah.
Can someone send me like a character save or something? Because I don't have any that are skilled. And I don't want to spam click skills just to...
Right.
Yeah, sure. I don't know which is which though, so I'm gonna have to like sort through some of my guys. But yeah, I can do that. Well, I can just send you a folder full of like Bill Z's characters. Those are all really like...
Yeah, all those are like super powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. right, cool. Yeah, I'll do that while we chit chat about what comes
I'll have
next.
a look around the med bay.
What was your Godzilla character? He looked like he had some stuff on him.
He was the sluggish guy.
He's really slow.
Oh, that was the one you were just playing.
Oh,
Yeah, with the mask.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and get some character saves over to you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I guess just bear in mind, guys, that a lot of what you're seeing is the game looking a lot like it used to, and the reason for that is because, again, I had to go through and change the way that all characters work in the game. I had to go through and I had to change the way that character modules for their AI work, like the idea that they adopt these little concepts. We also have a whole system in play where characters have awareness levels. In Arena, you would notice it because they're always set to combat awareness, which is to say they're hunting you down. They never don't know where you are. As opposed to story mode, where guys will just sort of wander around, like the scientists were doing in the tutorial sector. And they will hunt you down, they'll communicate to each other that they've seen you. Hey, Sean, those chairs can be knocked around in case you haven't done that before. The chairs downstairs at the cloning area.
You could be resentful towards his chairs.
Yes. There we are. Now the question is, did Sean do that on his own before I told him, or was he already doing it now I look at him?
Right.
Enjoy your chairs. Try pushing them in the corners.
Yeah. What I'm especially excited for is the system that you put in place for what is working on the clone chamber, the way that like it's actually housing a person on like a command that they can come out, because that'll allow us to put people inside of like jail cells or manholes or whatever, something that's not a door that you could hide people into.
Yeah.
Gun turrets, for example, too.
Yeah, we're calling them. Those are called vehicles. That's just our term that we're using. Oh yeah, Sean, do you like every door has a sphere around the front of it, so you can never push it in there?
Yeah.
It'll
I
never,
hate
ever,
you
ever
for
happen.
it.
In fact,
I love it
because there's so much force against it that. See, I learned this from playing a. There was one of those like Halo ODST maps where me and my cousin used to try to like, we would use the Warthog to shove large objects in the way of the door so that nothing could get through, not even the big turtle-looking guys. I forget what all the names are of enemies. But like, yeah, we would like shove stuff in front of doors so that nobody could ever get to us. And like day one of making this game, that was one of my first concerns. Was okay, if I were playing this game and trying to like really cheat it, I would also shove stuff in front of the door and keep people from getting through. Mm-hmm. So that's one of our things that we have. So good luck if you manage to break that.
Yeah. Also keep in mind that the whole point of the arena mode is to murder as many dudes as possible. So.
Yeah.
Now, doing that basically just fucks you as opposed to them. So
yeah, well, right, because if they get stuck in a door or stuck in another room, you're not getting them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. We have charge attacks are in. We need to send Sean some characters here, but yeah, we have a lot of new stuff to show you. So let me get these saves over. Yeah, it's actually very exciting to think that we could potentially in the future have like real vehicles that you could drive around. They'd be simplified, and it would be neat to have like a stage where you can be like on a motorbike or something, shooting people while at the same time moving a bike around, a la Madness Ambulation, that Flash.
I was gonna say like I want a forklift.
Yeah, drive around with a forklift like freaking Watch Dogs 2.
Right. No, that was
Let's see. Let's get Sean some saves. Let's go to career, story mode.
Way to plan ahead, Sean.
Sean is too busy enjoying himself with flames.
I love that you can still kill them.
Oh yeah, no, this has to be a feature.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it's fun, it's a feature.
Yeah,
It's the bucket. Feature. It's putting the bucket over their heads. It wasn't intentional, but it's going to remain.
And to be fair, like, yeah, this is one of those things, like Walrus said, if you want to burn them to death and kill them, you can. I think, yeah, because I never set them as invincible, but area of effects and DOTs, like explosions from the M32 grenade launcher, those will still affect them.
I still like how you could speak
Lazy
to him
idiot.
when he's dead. Hey, listen, I still need that ride.
Yeah.
they are dutiful even in death.
And unless you set the bodies to 0, they won't despawn. Joel's commenting.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Just nuke them all. Nuke them.
All right.
What did these
Sean,
people
I got you some character saves, by the way.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just
check it
putting them in.
I'm not sure
because it still looks like you're satiating your need to burn people.
Don't forget to hold shift to aim up, but you probably can't yet. Serves you right, you son of a gun.
Yeah, look at you go.
Okay,
Getting
let's see.
yours.
Now, do I have to close the entire game for this? What is it?
Losing all your
I do.
Rufus.
I
So
don't.
I guess
Okay.
Tom sets this up. We could take some questions.
I'm hungry for questions.
Yeah. You don't need to restart your game or anything, Sean. Next time you load, it'll find all of them in there.
Nice.
Okay. So shall we start with a couple of beginner questions, some easy ones?
All right, some
Softball.
some easy master boy, little tiny boy questions. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Hyper Hazard asks, how much progress have you guys done, like percentage-wise, when taking the whole game as a whole at the moment?
Oh gosh.
I mean, since this is not a volumetric game, in that you can't take the whole game and pour it into a glass and measure it.
And say that's 100%.
You're right. Yeah, we have to look at it as far as time goes, and we're still looking for a 2017 release here. It may not be this summer because those revamps really did push us forward, but considering we're going to do the Zed Survival as a DLC, which will be at the very least a free DLC for the Kickstarter backers, but we'll we'll figure that out as we go. Because bear in mind, we only got so much funding from the Kickstarter. That did have a lot to do with the features that we can create. But for an arena and story mode complete upload or update, I would say that the game would probably be finished by. I want it to be done by September for sure. Because I'm getting married in September. All right. I don't want this shit hanging over my head.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's.
What about our honeymoon? I have to finish the game.
Right.
I'm sorry, wife. I can't go to Paris. I'm too busy being a good game developer.
Right. When we're touring the Rhone Valley in southern France and checking out the Chateau Neuf de Pop winery and vineyards, I don't want to be thinking, oh shit, I wonder if the head leap is working.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, just to kind of give you an idea of like how far along I am in story mode, I've gotten like almost 4 of the 6 sectors completely done, like designed and like laid out in Unity, like with the remaining ones being mining sector and the final tower. But like yeah, the asylum itself is just about wrapped up, and like as Swain goes through it, I'm going to need to go back there with him and kind of like understand what he's doing so that I can like apply that to the further sectors that I work on. I mean, like we're moving very quickly here now, especially since the revamps are all taken care of and the game is far more robust.
Yeah.
And there are still features to come. We're not completely finished. There's a few things that need to be figured out. Like I need to get it so the grenades and throwables, like throwing daggers, shurikens, and eventually also grenades. Those need to be a third slot that you kind of have just hidden away always. Like press G to throw kind of thing.
Dedicated button.
Occupying a slot. Yeah. So that's something that needs to go in. The entire game is based on the idea that you have 2 slots of weapons. So I'm going to have to go through and kind of like open that up to 3. Some of the game is ready for it, some of it is not. So there's little things I'm still going to have to go through and fix and change, but for the most part, a lot of the stuff that needs to be set in place is ready. So we were going to be able to do vaulting over cover and like climbing up walls and stuff. That kind of thing is basically ready for us. As of doing the head leap feature, which changes the root armature piece of the character, and technobabble aside, it basically means we can animate a character, and when the animation is done, he's actually standing where he ended, and he doesn't zip back to where he started from. Like, we can now do that. That system is in place. Yeah. So vaulting and climbing and all that fun stuff, that depends on that, and yada yada yada. Most of the core structure is in, so we can start working with what we have, and I can stop working on core like engine features and just work on cool new stuff that should be in the game, which is much faster to work on than going back and ripping out something that the whole game depends on, like the whole character system. So remember, if the game looks okay, like it looks like it did before, and it's running a little bit better, but still doesn't seem like much has changed, then that's good. That means that I have not failed as far as ripping out everything that's old and starting from scratch and rebuilding it. Just remember that. That's where the time went. And it's important because I can't insist this enough. This sets the stage for possible multiplayer. The way the game was before, there was no way multiplayer could happen. Now it's not just a practical idea, but it's more than just a possibility. Like the idea of local co-op is like assured now. It's not in yet, but it's like we can do it. Networked multiplayer, that's going to take a little bit more work and a lot more testing, especially because the game wasn't designed as multiplayer from the start. So yeah, we'll do what we can, but the revamp makes that now a possibility. Even the network multiplayer, even like online play. So we'll see. We're trying.
Very nice. That was a very concise answer. Actually, there was something that I wanted to. That is another question that was asked, which is related to what you were saying, actually. Leon Marlanta. Is that? Oh, fuck. Here we go. Leon Marlanta. Marlanta. Fuck. There we go. I did it, Father. When will the climb, jump, ability be available? Do you think? Because you were talking about that being a thing that can actually be added soon. So, How long do you think it'll take?
That is a difficult question to answer. I think I want to postpone on that question. I think I want to wait until I have a more solid understanding of what we can do as far as just finishing story mode before working on all the other stuff around that. Because right now story mode is our priority before anything else. And we are going to be releasing that like a piece at a time. Like as we complete a sector with the missions in it, I think then we'll release that, and then bam, now you guys pay to test that part. Then we'll work on the next part, and then beta test that part.
Yeah.
I think that's how we're going to do this, and the idea of like multiplayer, Zed Survival, and other additional features, DLC or otherwise, even if it's included in the core game, that's hard to estimate. But just know that we're planning on doing story mode episodically while we kind of like work on it in beta, and we want the game to be done by September. So what are we in now? May. So we got May, June, July, and August. That's 4 months to try to get as much story mode done as possible, and at least try to be done with the beta and go towards like an early access type thing, like for the pre-order backers by September. And if multiplayer has to come out after that, we'll see. But before the actual real release, before the end of the year, that's fine. But other than that, it's all speculation, and I wish I could give a better answer.
Well, that's better than speculation is better than nothing.
True.
All right. Okay, here's another question by a man named Commander Jimmy. Do you guys have any plans for like mines or deployables or grenades or other and we already have Molotovs and shit, but what other plans do you have?
Yeah. Swain touched on that a little while ago.
Yeah.
We want to put it as a dedicated grenade button rather than something that you carry in your hands like a weapon, because as it stands right now, it just if you have to hold it in your hand, it just takes up too much inventory space and makes it. I mean, I'd rather just hit someone with something that never runs out rather than, carry around grenades, which are very, situation dependent.
It would be pretty cool if you could see the. We'd have to come up with a way to make it work and not screw up your character costume and interfere with outfits and armor that you're wearing, because clipping does take place in 3D, where in 2D that wasn't an issue with the first game. Right. But if you're holding grenades in your third slot, to have something to indicate that you got grenades, or something to indicate that you have throwing knives, because deployables, I would imagine, would take up the same exact slot as the grenades. So, but maybe not. Maybe it's a fourth slot just to do it. Or maybe it's something you actually have to carry. But like engineers, we have deployable shields ready to go. I just need to make it. And they actually wouldn't take me long to do. It just hasn't been a priority compared to getting all these features in. But engineers, that's something we want to test, is getting in. Also, Devin, we can hear you typing. We can hear you typing, BRB, grabbing water.
Very nice. Thank you, Devin.
Yeah, next time you can just tell us, because we heard you anyway.
I thought I muted that. Well,
it's okay. It's okay.
Devin, thank you for letting us know, though.
I tried. I failed.
But engineers have deployable shields. We just don't have them in the game yet, because we want them to be engineer-like and engineer things. So deployable shields, eventually they'll put down like deployable turrets. Those will be things that they could start with in a map, and that kind of thing to just be extra annoying. So yeah, that's one of our big plans for deployables, and we may take it from there as we need to. But that's the main one first, is turrets and those shields. Got to get those.
Those slick deployables ready to roll.
You know it, bro.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So let's have a look. Actually, speaking of engineers, Gangrene is Cool asks, is there any enemy that's supposed to have an advanced intelligence compared to others as their primary speciality? Like generally just being able to outsmart you,
Yeah,
better.
like where they play as a bot rather than like an AI controlled enemy.
Yeah, we've been referring to them as bots. We don't have any in the game yet, but the difference being NPCs, like when you see a grunt come up to you in a room, little gray guy, little gray head, and like those little fists, and he's ready to go. His purpose in life is to run towards you and get killed. That's his entire purpose. And if he's trying to outthink you, then we have done a bad job with the game. Because he's an enemy type, and his role in the game is to give you somebody to kill quickly so that you can boost up your attack bar, increase your corpus regeneration, and that sort of thing. His role is not to try to outsmart you in a fucking deathmatch. That's not what he does. However, some enemies will and should. And that's also, your squad mates are going to have a kind of like AI with a personality unique to each of them that they won't really change or develop too much. Like if a guy always runs in and dies, that's just sadly going to be how he is.
Yeah.
You'll get a sort of reading of what kind of character he is, though, as you play. But then, of course, you've got boss units. When you fight the sheriff, he's just a guy wearing armor with like grenades and heavy weapons. But fact is, he needs to be more than just a guy that runs at you with his purpose being to die. This guy needs to actually kind of outsmart you and give you a bit of a challenge. So that would be an example of a character that would have that. And I think maybe in arena mode, the boss of each wave, or at least the boss at the end of each arena match, should probably be a bot. Just to kind of like cement in that you're just because you got like one guy left doesn't actually mean anything.
Right. It kind of like breaks up the predictability you get from specialized units like golems or abominations when we get those in. You can know what to expect from enemies like that, but when we make them more bot-like, they're gonna behave in a somewhat unpredictable manner, and make it more fun.
Yeah. So so there we go.
Very nice. I like the way you've answered that one. It fills me with glee.
Listen.
Yeah. Okay. Let's have a look. So, what else we got? Actually, how are you doing on your end, Sean? How's it looking?
I'm actually wondering if there's a different character that's got Murder Room 5 unlocked already. So I haven't even seen it yet. So
nice. We will get there. We will get there. All right. Okay. So let's see. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Commander Jimmy asks, will your origin change the introduction sequence to the game, or is it just going to be like everybody starts out in the same tutorial and does their same thing?
The tutorial will be the same, but there were some little features that we were thinking about doing to kind of like spice it up based on your origin. Honestly, it comes down to the time that we're going to have, not the desire. One of the things we wanted was like, instead of a van, maybe like you come up in a limo if you're an agent, or they actually throw you on the curb if you're an experiment or something. Like they're just dumping you, like that kind of thing, and then your character would say something relative to that.
Yeah.
Also, the kind of chatter that your character speaks in combat, we want that to be based on your origin as well. One day we may add customization, but for now I think that's what we want.
Fun.
But other than that, we still think you're going to go in, do the orientation, fight the guy, just go to the cloning area, and then get to the headquarters. Like the general pacing is going to be the same. But we do have plans to add things in the game that are going to like reflect your character's origins as well.
Right.
Maybe not entire stages or anything like we wanted, because we realized that's best saved for story mode anyway.
Yeah.
Who likes the weapon swooshes? Those are pretty sweet.
I was just about to say. I was like, that's a fucking amazing looking super move, dude.
Yeah. Does this character have a core melee 3? Can you get like the specialized attack animations?
Sean, if you do the basic attacks, we should see if he does like.
Well, he's dual wielding, so we can't see that.
Is he?
Yeah, he's got a bat in his offhand.
Oh, he does. Yeah.
I'll drop it.
Oh yeah, Sean, you have to single wield, but if you do, you'll get the new chainsaw attacks.
Or just double minigun him up.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This is Bill's strength.
Enjoying that, Devin?
That was just great.
I like this so much.
I love this stage. I love Murder Room 5.
Yeah.
It's a scream.
It's so pretty.
What are the enemies like? Are they Nexus boys? Are they?
Yeah. We updated the way Nexus guys look, and we're not quite done yet. But they also they basically have like a kind of like they got like ski masks basically. They've got their balaclavas or whatever the.
They really like
never
yeah,
get it
mix
right
their
I always call it
baklava.
balaclavas, like the dessert. Yeah. They're basically wearing ski masks to kind of make them look like more mercenary-like, other than the agents, so that you can tell who they are. Engineers and Zoldats for the Nexus have berets as well, so you can sort of distinguish them as bosses. There's an engineer right now.
Yeah, it means you could execute him twice, or just chainsaw him up. That's cool.
The chainsaw. We have weapon-based attacks now, so katanas and ninja type swords have their own. Rapiers have their own, and chainsaw has one as well.
Yeah.
Chainsaw with heavy attack is amazing. It's like you just thrust it into them and just hit.
It's Very, very nice.
My favorite. It's my favorite.
I don't blame you. It's fucking beautiful to look at, it must be said.
Yeah. So while he's dicking around in here, why don't we take some questions?
Yeah, questions, boys. I'll find another one to give you and then scream.
Okay.
Pays Hayes asks, how are you guys not broke yet?
Oh,
I like
money-wise?
Yeah.
Because we still have the game available for pre-order on PayPal.
Yeah.
And honestly, like obviously you can expect that because we haven't had an update in several months. Orders have waned a bit more than we were expecting, just because everybody who wants the features that the game has as of the Christmas update, it's already got the game. So it's up to us to kind of keep it interesting and release more stuff. And of course, those revamps, that was a sacrifice we had to make. But no, we're not broke, we're not hungry. But obviously, you are supporting us if you go and pick up a copy of the game on the website. It's projectnexus2.com/preorder. There's also a link on the main page. And
intense.
And although Pack B has access to the alpha, remember we're getting into beta very soon, so Pack A will have access soon. Not right now, but soon. Once we get this last phase of testing.
Right.
So yeah, there's that.
And I have a job, so that helps.
Oh yeah, and Devin's playing the long game here. I guess we all are, but Devin gets paid when the game makes actual money.
Yep.
Real money.
He'll then get a big fat paycheck right at the end, and then continuously for years after.
How are you still alive, Devin? That's what I want to know.
Lots of
Is that like a Florida knock or what?
No, it wasn't.
Or is that like, why hasn't
That's a
someone
life-
killed you
that's a
yet?
life knock.
But I wasn't implying that.
Yeah, it is Florida too. I mean, let's be honest. God, I do love the chainsaw. That's just so.
Visceral.
Yeah.
Again, I've been stuck playing the early part of the game, but forcing myself not to cheat.
Oh, Devin, the most recent build, I put that thing in where whining does pay off, and eventually when you tell me that the first level is just way too hard, I did set it so that both the applicant characters and the orientation of the tutorial, as well as the VR guys in the green VR guys, do not stun you at all when they hit you. Like, it's impossible to be stunned by them.
There you go.
So you can
works.
still button mash you can now button mash your way through them, no problem.
Right, now if they attack and they attack at the same time and you both hit each other, no problem. They get stunned, you don't.
They listen to me.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes.
Actually, I should make sure that this build is downloading. This is the Steam one, right?
Yes, sir.
Just out of curiosity, I have this on mute because it's hard to talk and stream
Yeah,
at
of
the
course.
same time. Did the minigun actually get the minigun?
No, minigun sound is not in, but that's going to be in the next update.
Okay.
The sound build is the most important thing now. I knew that was going to take a lot of testing, and because for a variety of reasons that have nothing to do with the quality of the sounds. I heard all the sounds; they're great. But the build
It's just getting there. All right, cool. Next update. Good to know.
next update, the sound build goes in. Yeah.
Actually, I forgot to ask, Swain, are the golem noises in yet? By the way, I'm curious to hear if they're alive.
The
so to speak.
the Gollum vocals.
Yeah.
We have, I think, right now the big guy is what the Golem's going to end up being because that
Right.
that recording set was like the best one for them. And then I don't really have a big guy right now, so
That's fair.
that's kind of where we're leaning.
So
That's all right.
so Devin, you're saying that the brute voices that we did already, those are good for the Gollum then, and then we just keep it. the way
Yeah. Well, because when I went to town, he made it such a guttural performance. Thank you. When I went for the pitch down, they just sound great for these larger than life enemy types versus just slightly larger than life.
Yeah.
And the more time we have, and the more we can diversify, I'd love to see things like the Bandit Brute having a different vocal set than the Gollum. Give him the same kind of like Cockney voice.
You do have that.
Hello, God.
You have a big bandit. It's
Yeah. The big bandit is just a giant Scots angry person. It
was perfect.
He's extremely upset at everything, apart from the fact that he is big. That's the only thing he's happy about.
Nice.
Everything else is just
about that, don't we?
Yeah, you do have that. It's there. There's also, as far as voice acting goes, I guess I can go on a tangent. There's some plans in the future that we're going to be working on.
Oh boy.
So
Well, we got to get Tomar and helping with one of the characters between Sanford and Demos. That's up to Matt to voice cast. Like Matt, you decide who's going to be doing those voices, and I'll commit to it.
Oh boy.
Oh shit.
Yeah, you are the man who gets to decide who voices which character. So, you know.
Shit, I mean, Tomar could be Hank, even though characters never do dialogue. Like, in this game, it's all like written. But the little like blurbs and stuff, we can always get Tomar and his sultry, thick tones to.
Yeah, them super good tones.
That man's tones make me extremely jealous. It must be said.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of experience. He's not an old man, but he's been working like he is one.
Yeah.
Still gotta get wrong.
I think watching Sean
90% of what's going on right now.
What's that?
You gotta give Walrus some credit. 90% of what's in game is him.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, it's good.
I think the only voice Tomar has right now is Arena Victory.
That's it.
Yeah.
Or Eric's failure.
To be honest, that it's so beautiful at that point. That's all he would need to do, and it would be just like perfect, golden. You don't need to do anything else. You are so good. Please have my children. Okay, okay.
Just take them away from me.
Just not even like. Oh my god, that's. I'm speechless. The man is too good.
He is quality. We were watching what was it? Watching One Punch Man the other day, and I think he does he does a vocal for the American dub, doesn't he?
I remember hearing him, and I was like, oh fuck, that's Tomar.
Oh, good. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was a very pleasant surprise.
The man is a pro, consummate pro.
Yeah.
He's union. He's under union rules.
That's true. He actually is. He's got an agent of everything.
Yeah.
So why don't we question me.
A little question, okay.
Hit me with some sweet questions.
I'll hit you with a sweet question. Manish guy asks, is Bossman based on any character, like our supporter, or is he just like he's got a very specific look, I will say that.
He's got a Santa beard, he looks like a hobo.
Yeah, that's pretty specific.
He's wearing a grayed out outfit version, I think, of the Crackpot outfit. Can't remember. Yeah, he's got a cross between a homeless man and I think Cranky Kong from
Cranky Kong, yeah, that's the one.
Not Diddy, yeah, he's like a mix between Tails and Diddy Kong. Is that confusing?
What a character!
I can't even imagine.
Lad? And Sonichu, and also Sonichu.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're all got a little Sonichu in them.
Everybody's got a little Sonichu in them.
Yeah, that's just the meme magic right there.
Oh,
Yeah, Captain's log.
Yeah.
No, he's kind of like our Cranky Kong. He's like he is not, for example, he is absolutely not your character from the Arena mode in Project Nexus 1. That is not him. Though it would be kind of fun to say that he is, but we're still kind of working on his backstory to integrate some kind of background from this guy into the story mode, so you kind of get a little bit more exposition about who he is. But without spoiling anything, we're going to have more opportunities to learn about the world of Arena. Like as you advance through stages, things will kind of change in the headquarters that allow you to kind of like investigate stuff, new cutscenes to kind of like build the world.
Yeah, there is something of a plot that happens in Arena mode as you traverse the missions.
The basic idea in the tutorial sort of explains this, is that it exists in a world where I think we kind of talked about Zed survival occurs in a world where you failed at story mode. That's like the presumed world that you're in. In this game, it's sort of like I guess it's kind of parallel, but not quite. It's like you lost, but in a different way. You're kind of working for the employer, the little mysterious benefactors that seem to exist behind the scenes. And you don't work directly for them, but you are working for this organization that is going around trying to reclaim Nexus cloning technology, and you're doing so by playing through all these little stages and doing mini missions, which are not all in yet, but if you play in the abandoned outpost stage, that rooftop stage, you've probably noticed that a lot of it involves trying to get like Nexus passwords and stuff like that. And most of these stages will have little things where you're trying to reclaim that technology for the organization that you're working for in Arena mode. So your boss main character does fit into that, and we're hoping to have some more like opportunities to showcase that. I also like that, and granted, remember this is 30 seconds ago in the actual stream, but Sean kills a golem that looks at his hands as he dies, falls backwards into a flame, and catches fire. That's my
nice. That's the
Very
good stuff.
theatric. I loved it.
Yes, only in Project Nexus 2.
Only in Project Nexus 2, TM, buy it on Steam.
Cinematic fun all the time. 100 years of Rick and Morty, right?
I feel like that could be the commercial. Just Walrus screaming, "Go buy it now!"
Right. 20 seconds, 30 seconds? No, 20 seconds!
That's good. That's like Stamper level of screaming advertisement.
Yeah.
Really good.
I was digging on it.
I don't think I could get Stamper's level of just man, that man is in the league of his own.
Maybe Stamper would let us pay him to do some voices down the line. No, you Walrus, you work for free.
I work for free.
Nah.
Actually, in a perfect world, when this is all said and done, like after it would be a fantastic thing to just send out paychecks to all you guys who helped us out. There's some people track like Chester and Faulkner here, but Sean, I would love first off to be paying Sean to do our PR stuff, not just to be handling our account like Twitter and kind of thing and getting word out, but actually working on media stuff like commercials and that kind of thing. Like I
have to say, I fucking love this map, by the way.
Isn't it fun?
Jesus.
It's actually it's really freaking tough, and you're only playing on normal mode.
And honestly, like it just makes me want to make nothing but murder rooms. Like
And
I
it's
want a
hard.
whole game, 100 years murder rooms.
100 times murder room.
Whew.
97 years now. 97 years murder room.
Well, I just get a horrible thrill when I watch people struggle with it. It's fun.
Yeah. It's tough. It's really tough trying to play this with a melee build, but at the same time, just get boxes between you now.
Fuck.
Good old Mark 1 golems.
Wow, you just chainsawed right through them. Jesus, that was great.
That you can knock them down too.
Dude,
Burn, baby.
well done, man. What a fantastic ending to it.
Now
There's something of a joy of like killing an armored golem like that without actually taking his helmet off.
Yeah. Is it still melee first and then you shoot the fuck out of him, or is it?
Yeah, you can,
Bit
but that's only required for the ones Mark IIs that have the big metal armor.
Mm-hmm.
And to make them more distinct, we do need to probably add cube mapping into the game to do like reflective maps on characters' armor to make it shiny.
Put some shine on it, yeah.
Yeah, and of course that'll also like reflect like the lights in the room. You'll see like more pinpoint specular lighting on them. But I think we need that to kind of indicate that this character is using something that makes him invincible, so you know at a glance. Like it's a practical reason to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking we probably want to do something like that.
It would be a wise decision, I feel.
I think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God, we got so many ideas for new murder rooms. Like one of the things, Matt, that we have to try to do besides like spike floors or whatever we end up doing is integrate those platforms, get like moving areas.
Oh gosh, yes, I can't forget those things.
You do that, and I'll tweak the AI so that it knows what it's doing on those platforms.
Rather than just lemminging all over the place.
Yeah, because the pathfinding will be hilarious. I can't wait to see what happens. Well, why don't we? I don't know.
Why don't you just crack open another question here?
Crack open a
pop
question
open a hot question.
like it's a sick little egg that needs to be cooked. All right. Okay. Let me see.
Feed me
here.
some sick egg questions.
Give me some sick egg questions. You know, I wouldn't turn you down there. So
Fine.
Z and M Movies asks, will there be a better map select option for arena mode? At it right now, it just kind of looks like a cluster of maps and difficulties. So I guess this is what this guy is trying to say is are you going to revamp it at some point, make it a little bit more clean on the eye?
Yeah, what we could do, I think, is all right, two things. First, the format does need to change. I want the menu for levels. We've talked about this once before, but I want the menu for levels to look a little bit more like, maybe it's just on the Discord, a little bit more like the inventory for weapons. Like it's more of a grid. You can see more on the screen. It's just information to know what you're clicking on, and then it just gives you more information on the left-hand side. Then from there, we could. I want to add mutations, as well as I'm starting to lean towards the idea of making it so every map doesn't show the difficulty on the right side, but you just pick the map, choose the difficulty on the left side where it shows the information, as well as picking mutations. And mutations would be things like, I don't know, everybody's got an armored helmet, or like things like that. And each one of those things could probably modify the experience and money that you get on the stage. So if you want to make it so like all guys have one corpus, you could do that to like for realism mode.
Yeah, I was gonna say like make it so everybody has one corpus, just completely crazy bananas mode.
And then it would like cut your experience by like 50%. But you could do it if you wanted to play that map. When it's not really about the experience, it's about the fun. So it would have a game effect where it does modify your experience up or down, but at the same time, you wouldn't be stuck playing a map where you want to have like a cool thing where everybody is ghosts.
Everybody is melee golems.
Yeah, right. Right. We are number one, but everyone is columns.
The midi's there. I have it.
Yeah, all right.
Well, I'm never playing the game normally again.
Yay!
Well, so yeah, I think I want to try to reformat that as well. And in fact, let me make a note card to make that more of a priority. Not for this alpha build, but definitely for beta. I want to kind of change that up a little bit. So yeah, let me make a note, and so this is getting committed. And I think that would help that like selection work a little bit better. I want skills to be very similar as well. I want skills to use the same exact like grid-based thing. The reason being, I think that the skill menu, if we don't have a tree, at the very least, you should be able to see more and understand like what you're looking at. So I think the skill thing could benefit from a makeover as well. Let me go ahead and add that up, and we'll take some more questions because I'm going to mark them as answered.
Yeah, they're like potato chips.
Yeah,
they're like potato chips in the sense that if you eat too many, you'll die. Don't want to do that.
So I mean, good night. No more tears. Let's go.
No more tears. We're all dying tonight. Fucks. Okay.
Just so you're aware, I am opening up the We Are number one midis right now. This is going to happen, and it's going to be terrifying.
Are you going to do a remix of We Are Number One, but with golems?
It's just going to be.
That's going to be the name of the song.
I like the.
We got Blood Sun. We've got Murder Room. We've got Taking Inventory. We've got We Are Number One, but We Are Number One is replaced with golems. Yes.
This is gonna be terrible.
Project Nexus 2, except it's replaced with We Are Number One, except it's replaced with golems. That's the true experience.
This is wonderful. This is wonderful.
No, it's not. It's gonna be terrible, but it's happening.
Oh, Sean, how do you like the lighting on that super fan blade now?
I was gonna say I like the. What is that? Is that the motion blur swinging effect going on?
It's the same blur that comes behind your sword when you swing it around.
Yeah, it's a lot better now.
Yeah.
I must say,
you wasted no time getting people in there.
I love the murder room how it looks now. It just looks so. It looks so. I don't know why, but the red light just makes it so much more.
It reminds you that you're not supposed to be inside of there.
Yeah. It reminds. It at the same time says screams don't go in there, and at the same time screams put other people in there instead.
Yeah.
Right. It's very miserable.
I can see the memory leak is starting to kick in when guys spawn. We're actually doing something to fix that right now as we speak.
Yeah.
As we are speaking, it's happening.
Yeah.
Wow. That's intense.
I really loved the ragdolls switched around a little bit, where when guys hit this, they don't just fall to the ground; they actually pop up quite a bit.
Yeah, like popcorn and a popcorn maker.
Yeah, I love it. Prep, and they keep juggling.
Yeah, it just works so well. It's pleasing. It's pleasing to the face. But you know what else is pleasing to the face? A question, and I shall tell you that I shall ask you a question from Pays Hayes, and this is actually quite a thoughtful question. How much experience do you recommend having before starting a project like this? And
you mean
what's the best
game design?
Yeah. And he also asks, what is the best way to learn game development for free when you're a cheap fuck?
Okay, that is a good question. Now, bear in mind, we're not. I wouldn't call us commercial successes because we've never released a commercial game. We've made games before. I've made quite a few, but they've always been sponsored Flash games. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, I'm allergic to my own bullshit.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, the both of us have a bit of experience in Flash. I made Madness Interactive and then Project Nexus 1 with Swain.
Yeah. And of course, bearing in mind that those were basically free games that we made, and we were happy to make any money from advertising and sponsorship. Mm-hmm. That was all gravy. But we also did it for fun, and we did it for experience. I would say that's probably the best way to go. Is don't start a game that you think you need to make money from right away, not without experience. Mm-hmm. And that's just stage one. That's just as far as concept goes. Don't plan to make a game like we're making. Our game is not even like AAA or anything close to it. We are just two guys, but at the same time, it's a very complex game for just two people. It's got cutscenes. It's got a whole flippin' interactive system that makes StarCraft 1's interactive event system look like a freaking cheap imitation of what it ought to be. Granted, I based mine off of theirs and improved it where I thought it needed to be. But that's a lot of work for one fucking guy to do.
Yeah, that's still there's a lot going on in this game. We could have made it much simpler, but I'm really glad we did.
Look at all the stuff you're looking at on screen. I think out of all this, the only thing I designed that you're looking at visually on the screen besides the interface, which I do because it's just easier for me to handle it. Because I work with the code and the interface and code are hand in hand. Matt,
I think you made like the particle system above the flame, above the fan.
I did the blood for like the kind of like Frank Miller-esque like blood splats. I think I did that.
Yeah.
I did the puff of smoke when you shoot. I did the doors. I did the wave counter, and I think I did the. I'd made the barrels, but you reskinned them to make them look good. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I've done. Everything else
swirling particles
is all Matt. Yeah. Like the ricochet particles are like when your bullet hits a wall, which is nothing. Those are like little blobs. And that's mostly stuff that is using the Unity engine, the particle system. As far as like physics stuff, yeah. But when it comes to actual models and content, this is all Matt. So from that perspective, also, if you're getting into game design, make sure that if you're doing all of it, all of the code and all of the visuals, you really want to start small. Like a game that you think will take you more than a month or two, because I guarantee you it will then take you 4 months to half a year, even though you weren't expecting it. Then, after that, you have to bear in mind that you are going to lose interest in your project if you're staring at the same thing every single day. And working with a partner gives you that feeling of Christmas, where I didn't work on something and then, oh look, there's a whole stage finished and I never had to touch it. And it gives you that sense of awe.
Yeah, absolutely. That like back and forth between Swain and I is super important.
Yeah, without that, if I was designing the whole game by myself or Matt was doing the whole thing by himself, then it wouldn't just take twice as long. It would take significantly more because you will get drained. We're drained like right now, but but we constantly love what we're working on, which helps. So,
yeah, like anytime like Swain goes back and works on a stage that I had put together some time ago, and then see like all the life that he breathes into it, and I'm like, oh my god, like.
Yeah,
it's not just nonsense in Blender anymore. It's living and doing things. This is beautiful. And then I get all hype and make another stage and just keep going.
I made zombies harder. Also, they'll take your weapons away from you. Good luck.
Oh god. I think I like this change, to be honest, because zombies, when I was playing it, it was just like they felt a bit too underpowered. So
they were just dumb versions of every character.
The fun part of the zombies in Project Nexus 1 for me was just the fact that they were horrible, in the good way, as in they could destroy the fuck out of you.
Yeah, they're very simple. They're easy to trick, and they go down quick from a distance. But once they're up on top of you, then goodbye. Now, granted, melee attacks will stun them, and you can knock them down. Also, they won't attack you with a grapple if you've been hitting them with melee or unarmed. So you can keep them from grappling you. If it's one-on-one with a zombie, you're not going to just start punching him and then bam, he just grabs you and you're dead. But if you keep hitting him, he won't try to start his grapple until he hasn't been hit for a little while, which makes hordes of zombies very difficult to deal with, but makes individual zombies a little less difficult, unless you're using a ranged weapon up close, at which point, good luck.
Yeah.
Have fun dying.
I mean, you won't, but we'll have fun watching you die. But that's besides the point.
Well, that's why we make the game, so people upload their playthroughs and we watch them die and complain.
Yes.
Our favorite is when you lose your characters. Just kidding. I actually actively try very hard to prevent that from happening.
Yeah. Sometimes it is a thing that cannot be avoided because Unity is just like, nah, do not want this, and just kind of vomits up a bit.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Unity is a fine little program. Actually, that brings me on to another question by our Pays Hayes friend. What is the difference between Unreal Engine 4 and Unity? And, why do other companies perhaps go with a different mod thing that, isn't Unity when choosing things?
I'll be honest, I know a good deal about the features of the Unreal Engine. I haven't ever personally used it. So I can give some quick answers to just kind of give it context, but I can't give you like a hard list of if you want this, use Unity. If you want this, use Unreal. Yeah. But the general premise is that Unity has been very easy to it's been very easy to access. It's like, and this is not the case now, but when we were first starting to use Unity, there was a little bit more documentation out for Unity. It's not that more people were using it, but more like smaller projects were using it. I once heard a person describe Unity as like, they don't like using Unity, they prefer Unreal. They don't like using Unity because when you're playing a Unity game, whether like a mobile app or on Steam, you just know. You like feel like this is a Unity game. Mm-hmm. And since then, I've tried very, very hard to separate from that, make it feel like its own thing. I tried to not use Unity's out-of-the-box stuff as often as possible, which is part of why we're using our own shaders. Everything I've coded from scratch. We're using a lot of our own like physics calculations as well. Maybe not a lot, but a good amount of it. Hey, Sean's getting bit up on my screen. But like if you want something that out of the box you can open it up and visually it looks like really freaking stunning, and you can just use the stuff that just kind of comes with it, I would say use Unreal. Unity, on the other hand, I would highly recommend that you look at the specs for it and see like how it sets itself apart from Unreal these days. Because since we made the choice, a lot of what I want to say doesn't really hold up anymore. Like the engines have both changed very, very much. But one of the reasons we picked on to use Unity was because they had access to C# at the time, the coding language, which Unreal did not. C# is the Microsoft's version of C. Basically, it's the part of their .NET framework. And coming out of working in Flash, going into C# is a very easy transition for me. So I wanted to get into a professional language that I didn't speak yet, that I couldn't yet, but was similar to something I knew. So for me, that was specifically why we went into Unity, was that alone. But besides that, Unity has different out-of-the-box stuff than Unreal does. There's a lot more overlap, like I said, between the two. So just check and see what do you want out of a game. If you are thinking of making something in either one, what do you want out of a game, and just balance it. See which engine offers you what you need, and just go with that. Unity gave us what we needed at the time, which mostly was coding language.
Very nice. This next question is another sort of engine-based one, but it's not directed at Swain. This one is directed at Matt, actually. So Matt, why do you use Blender to make 3D models as opposed to anything else? What does it do?
Well, that one's a really easy one to answer because it's free and there's tons of tutorials for it on YouTube.
There we go.
Yeah, like I really like to get more depth in it. Like when Swain and I were tossing around the idea of getting into Unity, I just kind of hopped onto YouTube and looked around and like started making cups and tea kettles and all that nonsense in Blender, trying to figure out the ins and outs. I mean, it's a very in-depth program. There's still a lot about it that I don't understand or like don't even use or utilize or whatever. But like it ultimately just came down to that. Like, Matt, you got to learn 3D. Well, Blender's free and there's about 1,000 hours worth of help on YouTube. So and yeah. Like since I'm just learning Blender, it's kind of making me mad because I can see like even when you're running around, like the stuff I made towards the beginning of the game, or in the beginning of when we were putting this together, I'm like, oh god, those models just look tremendously awful, and they're probably named Cube.001 or something. Before I knew that like the name of the object and the name of the wireframe itself were different, all that nonsense, but.
Yeah, and there's a couple practical reasons as well that we didn't know. It didn't like influence our decision to use Blender. We did that because it was free. That's obvious. Nice and simple. But behind the scenes, some of the other options are project systems like 3D Studio Max and Maya are the big ones. And 3D Studio Max, I forget what some of the issues were with Maya, but just because you work in a program doesn't necessarily mean that the models and the information that they're saving and exporting are the same or identical to other ones. It's not like if you write text in a text program in like Notepad or in Microsoft Office, like at the end of the day, it's still text and the formatting is different, but it's still just like string documents. Not so much with 3D models, and without getting scientific about it, there are little differences between the way that Unity interprets the things that you create from one program versus another. And then there's like little tiny things like in 3D Studio Max, when you create a series of animations, like let's say all of the sword swinging animations that Matt has made for the game, 3D Studio Max will save all of them as one long animation in tandem. And it's up to you to go in Unity and take that one long animation and create a series of animation events. It's like clips, let's say, animation clips, that basically clamp little pieces of it. So you have to go through and fish through every single moment in that long animation and clamp between 5 seconds and 5 seconds 0.5, and then between 16 seconds and 16.8, just to make sure that you're capturing each piece of each animation. I don't know if that's changed with Unity 5, but that was something in 4, and something I was very grateful that working in Blender takes care of that for you. All of your animations are pre-chopped up, so all you have to do is just drag and drop them where you need to in the game, which is a huge help. So Blender 1, 3ds Max 0. And that was something that we just kind of like stumbled upon. Like, oh wow, we didn't realize that other things did it that other way. But yeah, and Blender has its misgivings and like things that annoy me to this day. But ultimately, like with all things considered, I'm glad that I found it and jumped on it first, because that's like you pay for Blender in other ways, like frustration and the fact that the interface is some of the worst I've ever seen. And it's not that it's just the interface; it's that there's a specific hotkey for every little tiny thing.
Oh yeah.
If you accidentally pressed H while control was down, you've just turned something off on your program, and you'll never know that you did it. It'll never tell you that you just toggled the switch, and now something will never work until you it's saved to your project. You can't even reset the freaking hotkey.
Right. And worst part is you can't Control Z your way back through it.
Right. Oh yeah. If you press Control H, you can't then undo back to that and undo the hotkey because it's just on forever.
It was something that was built into the UI. I've goofed up Blender quite a few times figuring that stuff out.
Exactly. And the only way to know is to be so familiar with those mistakes by having done them on purpose or solved it before that you at least remember, oh yeah, that's right, there was a thing I pressed. Let me go back and see what it was.
Yeah, like that fun thing from a couple of years back when we all my animations were backwards, and there's literally no way to correct that. All the documentation I caught online was don't do it that way, and I'm like, yeah, well shit, I got this 60 animations that are all wrong now.
Yeah, exactly. That was easily a month and a half of work just gone because Matt had animated these characters, and the orientation wasn't very clear in the world, and so for whatever reason he animated them facing one way, and there was just literally nothing we could do about it. You can't just grab everything and rotate it and then commit the rotation. You can't.
We spent some time trying to figure that out, and then all the documentation was like, well, don't do that, and I'm like, just slap the damn table and fine, whatever. Yeah. Take my damn ball and go home.
That is horseshit, but that's another example of the way that 3D models are not just as simple as you would expect them to be.
Mm-hmm. I see that jackhammer's a little too heavy to swing there for you, Sean.
Yeah, I need to do some lifting,
some push-ups.
Do not skip on the arm day. Not entirely sure if that's a thing that's a phrase people use, but I'll go with it.
Well, I don't think grunts can have arm day, can they, Walrus?
Hand day.
Okay.
Day.
Hand day.
Night.
Finger strength, baby.
Go on.
All right. So.
Oh shit, Mind Chamber's here.
Yeah, he is. He's been doing his thing.
Chamber, hello. Chamber, hello. There we go. I
hope he was here to listen to me talk about how much I suck at Blender.
Yeah. Jose, your van is in the game finally. Mind Chamber's the one who designed the van in the tutorial.
I'll play the tutorial again.
At the beginning, but when this live cast is done, Mind Chamber, go back to the beginning or just play the game, and the van is the very first thing you see.
Yeah. So thanks, pal.
Our boy.
Play the tutorial for some of you may have missed it anyway.
Yeah. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? What could possibly go wrong? As a fine Bobcat once said.
Our watching now count goes to 0, and I blame you.
Oh no.
Well, that's the worst.
Okay, but when you say you, do you mean me, Swain, Sean, Lachlan?
Well, not Swain, obviously. Just anyone who I could lay the blame on. I don't care.
Okay.
anyone
who could be referred to as you. Got it.
It's like when you say "Hey, stupid," and someone lifts their head. He's stupid.
Guarantee you that will be me. So now I feel like a chump. Okay, right. So let's have a look at what else we got. Trying to look at some question that can be asked. Here's one. Hangman1262 asks, "Can doors, walls, etc. be destroyed by heavier weapons?" Well. Yeah, I guess the better question would be, are destructible things going to be a thing that you decide to put in the game at some point?
Maybe small features in some stages, and in levels where it would look kind of cool, I'd like to see columns that get destroyed and, a la Matrix lobby scene. But as far as destructible doors, I don't see any situation where breaking a door will help to advance the game. So that will not be in it. There will be maybe in a story mode, there may be areas where you are forced to use C4 to blow up a hole in a wall, but that'll be a staged event at a key point to kind of sort of world build a little bit and make it feel more interactive, and also get cool explosions in the game. But that's not something you wouldn't destroy an existing door. That wouldn't serve any purpose as far as the game goes.
Fair enough. Right. Okay, that is a very good answer. I'm going to ask another one.
Thank you.
And let's see. I guess this is more of a Cody question. So, Dakua asks, "Is hex editing still usable for altering careers in this update, or has that been taken out?"
Yeah, I think it is. I've never messed with hex editing in this game because I personally can just go into the code and change things, so I don't care. But as far as like other people who are doing modding, I don't personally know, but I highly recommend that you talk to people on the Discord. We have a bunch of hex editors on there. That is to say, people who have been doing it. So I would recommend doing it that way.
Yeah. If by the way, if you want to get onto the Discord, Sean, how do you get on the Discord again?
If you go over to the projectnexus2.com website and go over to the foot, you can find all the social media links down there.
There you have it. Okay.
There you go.
That's all you need. All right. So that's one question down. Here's another one. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I guess this will be a fine one to ask. Crimson asks, will downloadable content for this game be cosmetic, or will it be like sort of things that make the gameplay a little bit easier? So pay to win, as it said.
No, we'll never do pay to win.
Yeah, I was about to say pay to win in any sort of game idea should be done. It's not clever. It's not.
No, it's right. We do pay to play in that you buy the game and you play the game. That's I think how it should always work.
Yeah.
I'm like hyped for the idea. Oh, sorry.
No, sorry, you go.
No, I was kind of hyped for the idea that after like Project Nexus 2 is more or less like done and like working, that like just making additional episodes or maps that you could play through, or like just huge content bundles. Just more game. People want more game. We can provide that.
Yeah. But as far as like, give us $1 and we'll give you a character that already has a bunch of like, or like you pay for free experience points. It makes me cringe, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do not do the Dead Space 3. Do not pull a Dead Space 3 and you will be golden.
What was Dead Space 3?
Just like
Dead Space 3 was the they allowed people to pay for ammunition in a horror game. In a single player campaign, you could pay for ammunition.
So like you pay $1 and your gun is refilled in the mission?
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard of in my fucking life.
I hope they choke on that money.
I think, you know what, considering it was EA, I hope they did, and they probably will, because they're too busy just eating it, because they don't see anything well with it.
Have you seen a Dead Space 4 since then?
Exactly.
Well, after hearing that, I'm kind of having a hard time being sold on that.
Exactly.
Rip Dead Space. Some perhaps somewhat unsurprisingly. Okay, what else we got? Crimson also asks, do you have any plans for stealthier missions, so to speak? Something like, something like a place where if you get caught, you get sort of put to the start of the stage or something like that, or just like anything that's not just go into a room and murder everyone.
You mean like the worst part of my Hotline Miami?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yes, I hated that stage. Let's make that. we could artificially buff the playtime of this game by doing stages like that.
But that's not your style, I don't think.
Well, I definitely want to like incorporate stealth into the story mode, less arena mode. Like, it just depends on how we feel it out in story mode. But there are going to be like parts of the game where like just outright murdering the living hell out of everybody might not be the best thing to do. I mean, you could, but like it's still something that we want to feel out. But like, as for like Sam Fishering through something and never being spotted, or being spotted and thrown to the beginning of the stage again, I'm not 100% keen on.
Yeah, if we did do a stage like that, I would think that even if you get caught, like let's say we make a mission where the whole point is to stay silent, and you do get caught, I sincerely doubt we're ever going to make it so that you have to go back to the beginning. Like you always have the option to kill your way out of the problem that you just got into. That's I think the worst we'll ever do.
And then ultimately, like, if you get through it stealthily, you either come out of it with some sort of benefit or just a pat on the back, like, hey, way to go, pal. You sure are the not killing guy in this killing guy game.
Mm-hmm. So I've got three questions left actually, and two of them are related to pricing stuff and buying the game. So I shall start with Crimson, who asks, will there be a special reward for pre-order players?
Special reward. The way we've looked at it so far is, originally when we were looking at pricing for this game, we were thinking like $12 or something like that, because it was going to be like a quick game. We're going to spend a year and a half on it, and obviously that's not where we are now. We've stuck around a $15 pricing idea for now, just to kind of like even it out and also reflect that we've put a lot of work into this game. And work aside, people aren't paying for our work; they're paying for the game they're going to play, and we think that's going to be reflected. We have been tempted to take the game price up to $20, but that we need to do some final calculations to see if that's worth it, because it's also our first game, and we don't want to alienate people who have never heard of Madness before or are unfamiliar with us as a team. And because we're new as far as like the video game, the real release video game is concerned, like real PC games. So we don't want to turn people off to playing this game based on the price as well. As an example, everybody knows the game Don't Starve. Matt and I have been playing this game called Oxygen Is Not Included, which is like a follow-up new game that has a similar, maybe not feel, but theme to it, where you're trying not to die based on lack of consumption of some resource. So
who's getting arrested?
Somebody in Philly. This is
Somebody in Philly.
Sorry, I could mute my mic. It's my window.
So it's okay.
But all that is to say, reason I bring that up is because they can charge more for their second game because they've got an established game that people liked, and so people now know that they can expect that like a level of quality from them. People don't know us; they don't necessarily know, so we have to balance out that price. And long story short, if you pre-order at $15, if we increase the game's price in the future, you are not paying an extra $5 for it. You have paid your price. You now have access to the game, and you will be getting it regardless of what you paid. So it kind of secures your game in case there's any kind of inflation. I mean, shit, the game has taken 4 years to make. By the time this thing comes out, the price of the dollar is going to have gone down anyway, so we may have to charge more for it just because of freaking actual inflation. That's how long this has taken.
Thanks.
We may enter a depression by the time this game is out. We may have to charge $50. Who knows?
Nice. That's what we like.
Who knows what the future will hold? Yeah. But the good news is, of course, I think you guys have seen by now, there's nothing is going to stop us from making this game. We've obviously come too far. We have no expectation to finish developing this thing, and we're so close to the end. Like, stopping now, it does not compute. It does not make sense.
Like career suicide.
Yeah, why would we do that? It doesn't make sense. And so anyway, we're and you guys will see as we go that this game is going to continue to be developed. There has been no risk since the beginning. But not everybody knows that. Not everybody wants to pay 15, 20, 30, whatever dollars to play a game that they think might not be finished. And so, that's why we're trying to keep the price low for while folks might not be sure of that, to kind of encourage people. But we know we're going to do it. We know we're going to finish this game. We haven't stopped yet. Why would we know? But anyway, perks for pre-order. Right now, that's kind of it. But we might incentivize a little bit more in the future. But we'll see. We'll see.
Right.
Right now, just make sure you're making sure you don't have to pay more in the future. Because I'll tell you what, the price is not going to go down. I'll tell you that.
You know what? I would be surprised if it went down. It must be said.
Yeah. There will always be Steam sales because it's Steam, but
yeah.
That's definitely not going to be on release day or anything like that.
Right.
Worst case scenario, we sell the game for $20, but put it on sale right away at $15. But that is to say, you'll never. Those of you who are pre-ordering at $15, you'll never have to. You'll never actually you'll never pay more.
Mm-hmm.
You certainly won't risk paying less. Okay, so what else we got?
Yeah, what else we got? Wait, here's another question for you. AK121267 asks, what will be the price on Steam when it actually releases, so to speak?
Well, I feel that now we've covered that answer as well. So
yeah, I was like,
yeah, it's probably be somewhere like
same exact thing I said. It's either $15 or more.
Yeah,
yep.
Plus $15.
Yeah,
probably, hopefully, going to be less than 60. We can say.
Yeah, the pack orders on the pre-order thing on top of getting little swag like stickers and stuff.
Right.
Mostly these guys, I think people who have been supporting the game understand that the reason it is more money. First off, the pack B comes with 2 keys, so as far as the number of keys you're getting, it's basically $30 a piece plus extra swag and crap. But on top of that, these guys also know you guys are helping to support the game. Like you're showing us that you have interest, and one day I would like to honor those pre-orders by giving more future DLC and stuff. As kind of a big thank you to you guys who went out of your way to pay a little bit more to guarantee that this game gets done in a timely fashion. So there is a level of actually really supporting us by picking up pack A and B, and we do of course truly appreciate that. Yeah. You are making this game get done.
Absolutely.
The moment we can't pay for our food, we have to find work elsewhere, and then this game gets done as part-time instead of full-time. Yeah. And although it will get done, that's just the longer all of us have to wait and the harder we have to work to make that happen. So anyway, so that's more fleshing out on that question.
Yes.
What else you got?
I've got one last question by a guy called Raleigh Burns, who asks. Was literally there's just a guy just a collection of M's.
Like
I would like, okay, you could interpret it as but I was interpreting it as
Was there a tilde at the end of it?
Yeah, I thought. Well, no, there wasn't. That's the thing. I just saw it there. I just saw it as that.
Saw it in your heart.
Yeah. It's what I believed. It's what I need.
Wow.
It is what you need.
Wow.
Well, let me tell you what then. The answer to that question is anywhere between yes and maybe.
Yeah. There's definitely not no. No is not part of the fucking equation. You get yes or maybe.
Excuse me. Could you not swear on my live stream, please?
Moan all you like, but no swearing.
Really sorry. Oh, I feel terrible.
No, I can start doing it too. Then we'll be like,
Please
okay,
don't.
fair enough.
please don't.
John, will that make you uncomfortable?
No, just see the memes coming out of it.
Okay,
Yeah. Fair enough.
Make a fair point, actually. Yeah. Well, those were questions there. Those were a lot of questions.
Solid
Fine questions.
As far as questions are concerned.
Yeah. So, bada bing, there we go. That is that, and we've been probably going for about 1 hour and 30 minutes, which is a respectable time.
Nice. Do we have any more significant questions after that, or does that pretty much cover it?
Well, Timothy O'Neill is saying that I didn't log in until 3 o'clock. Can you redo the first hour?
Yeah, that's good old Timmy. He's also he was a moderator on Newgrounds. He used to be my roommate, and then he was Matt's roommate for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, he's over here. I'm going to his house next weekend. He's having a housewarming party.
Actually, Mind Chamber has asked console ports ? Controller update.
For Mind Chamber and I guess Cody as well. We're going to start with trying to get the Steam controller to work. After that, we'll see what we can do with like an Xbox controller. Right. That will help to define whether or not any kind of console port would happen. Getting the Steam controller to work is actually it's become more and more important. I have one sitting right here in front of me, and I just got to get this formatted. One of the reasons we haven't dicked around with alternative control systems and control schemes is because, if you can believe this, Unity has no way to communicate the controls that you've set up outside of Unity, like when the window opens up and you adjust your controls before starting the game, kind of like the Skyrim startup window or something where you like affect the graphics and all that before going into the game. There's no way to communicate that information into Unity. It just then knows what the keystrokes are. I can't then tell you if you changed like your E to use button to like R for some reason, I have no way to know that. I have no way in Unity to be able to read that information and update that, okay, press R to open this locker. Like, it doesn't know that. I just have to stick with the press E thing. It just says that even if you've changed the keys. And that's just like the tip of the iceberg with the problems with trying to communicate between characters adjusting their controls to like a controller setup versus like adjusting their controls for the keyboard and then communicating that information into Unity so we can make appropriate adjustments. The game doesn't necessarily know that you're using the controller versus a keyboard versus... I mean, I think you get the idea. It's not simple. And that means we're probably going to have to buy into someone else's controllers, like in-game controller scheme setup, just to start to get that to work. So that's just one of those things where Unity did not make it easy on us. And because of that, we haven't put a lot of work into trying to fix that. Because, you know, it's a lot of work, and that's going to be a week of work just trying to get that to go. So. Yeah. Anyway, so that's as far as controllers. And then once we get controllers working, then we can start thinking about console stuff.
Should be a glorious day for that.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Wow, you guys yelled for once. That was amazing. I usually that's my job.
Questions. I need questions.
All right, I'll anything that pops up in the chat, I'll just scream it.
Just start doing it. Go.
My chamber says "geez," and I respect that statement.
Right back at you, pal.
You're reading statements. That's not a questions.
I can't help myself! Fuck!
Yeah, well, I guess I suppose that kind of wraps us up then, doesn't it? I don't think we have much else to do. Did we have anything else we, amongst the podcast hosts, wanted to discuss before we close up shop? Like, any
I think I
questions that we
kind
always
of
cover?
yelled out all the things that I was really hype about. Just pushing along with story mode. I'm gonna get really excited as soon as that starts having some life in it.
What do you think, Sean? Do you have any pressing points that need to be asked?
That's a no. It's a big time.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Gone in the potty.
I never thought I'd truly miss him until he was gone. That was a joke, by the way.
Hello?
Please. Oh, there he is!
Yay!
Sorry,
Only
I'm
just
muted.
say
I
something
forgot to
really
put it back.
mean.
I was gonna say, can we start over?
No! Please!
Yeah, I got nowhere to be.
I was playing the game, so I didn't get to hear these questions. If we could just, do it
No,
all over
you missed
again.
every single fucking question that I asked.
I mean, Project Nexus 2 is just so enthralling that I just couldn't get my ears away from the amazing music.
You're fired, you sarcastic shit. Get out. Clean
I've
out your
not done
desk.
that in a while, Jesus.
Yeah. It's been a long
Classic
time coming,
meme.
so he's kind of like super double fired.
Classic
Equally as long since the last update. I think there's no coincidence there.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, I guess we're all done. Now that we're back to more regular updates and the revamps are done, minus of course testing, which we rely on you guys who are testing the game to give us reports. Go onto the Discord. There's a link on the main site, projectnexus2.com, that will get you there. Provide us with notes. Go to the forums because we're there all the time, right? Guys?
Yeah, I'm definitely wasting time there, listening and relaying things to Swain. So.
Oh yeah. Most of the game has been built on the forums. But do communicate with us, guys. And if you see any kind of major errors, if you run into weird coincidental changes, things we've talked about that somehow we said they're new but now they're broken, please do share it because this is a new system that needs new testing. And a lot of stuff that used to work may just completely be broken. Some stuff that was broken may now be fixed. And it could be inexplicable. But we rely on you guys to do that. And in order to test, remember, you can still pre-order the game on projectnexus2.com/pre-order. I think that's all lowercase. But of course, there's a link on the main site. And Pack B has access. Pack A will have access to the game soon. We will be transitioning into the beta. God, I really hope it's before the end of the month. We wanted it to be the beginning of last month, but revamps. So we're really, really, really working hard to make that happen. And and then expect some story mode stages. It won't be everything at once, but it will be progressive. You will get some bandit levels. You will get the industrial sector.
Yeah, I'm excited about that because that way we can get feedback and apply what you guys say to future future hub modes and story stages.
Exactly.
So you guys will be helping us put this together in more ways than just supporting us financially.
Right. And although it would feel sort of like a story mode alpha, we are calling it beta because it will be mostly features complete by then. So, and then of course we're just building stages and using the engine that we already have in order to make that work.
Yeah, feature complete content, not so much.
Right. And those stages will be although content complete, they will be playgrounds for the event system and cutscene system to potentially break the game yet again. So by all means, if you guys can go into the tutorial and if you can break the event system, if you can break the cutscene, I will thank you gladly for it. Just tell me how you did it and we will try to fix it. Because that kind of complicated system that locks you out of your controls and forces the camera to do things, that is a potential graveyard of errors, of places that can just destroy your experience. And if you can make that happen deliberately and tell me how you did it and recreate the problem, then you have helped us greatly because we can then refine the cutscene system, refine the event system, and get this thing nice and squeaky clean for story mode. So tutorial is kind of a taste of how story mode might work. So by all means, do try to break it.
Yes.
So other than that, I think we're good on questions, and I think we've done a good job in an hour and a half.
Yeah, well, you did. Mr. Chatty Cathy over there. Yeah, I'd be done talking in like 5 minutes, man. So I got to thank you for being concise and thorough.
Oh, because that's the thing is all the stuff that's new in the game, like visually speaking, other than Murder Room 5, there's a couple new weapons. And that stage, all the stuff that you've been doing is sitting there waiting for me to put it in the game. So all the stuff that I feel like there has been to talk about has been excuses as to why I have been taking so long.
I got a pretty sweet billboard for hot dogs.
That's right. Check out I think it's all on Twitter right now, but make sure to check that out and see Crinkles is and I think Sean has been retweeting, but
yes,
check out
absolutely.
Crinkles' Twitter to see some of the new changes for I think it's the militarized zone.
Yeah, that's the militarized asylum kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the commercial zone of the city that has been repurposed by the Nexus Corps for military survival.
I like how it has the chain link fences around the building, so when people fall off, they don't hit the turf.
Right, it's for all the suicides. Not enough suicide booths to
accommodate the great demand.
Yeah. Well, I think that pretty much shuts us down for today, doesn't it? I think we've done a good job, and thanks guys for the questions.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Good stream, guys.
Thanks. Listen, Bob, dude. It's all thanks to you at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Thank you, Bob,
I know.
dude.
You guys, I know you guys like to pretend like you do all the work around here, but I think we know who makes these streams run.
Thank you, Tony. You're a true blessing.
He's just in the back of the ship. Just because he's out on the bridge, he's keeping the engine running. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm below decks bailing out the water.
Nice.
Yeah.
And we love you for it.
Thank you.
Patching the holes while I'm taking care of the bugs.
Yeah.
So, well, kids, I think that closes us up for today. So thanks for joining us on this podcast. Next one, I'd love to do it in another 2 weeks or so if we can. No promises, but we'll try to set something up. I think Liz goes back out of town again, so I'll have a whole lot of nothing to do on the weekend. So
Right.
I'm down if you guys are, but we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Can't wait. It'll be amazing.
Oh, wow, Sean, not sarcastic.
We're gonna need
Put your back into it, boy.
Yeah, we're gonna need some real enthusiasm out of you.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to release some real content to make that happen.
A little give and take. I get it.
Right.
I'm a good capitalist boy.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll catch you in a couple weeks. I'll be patching the game in the current and final alpha state over the next few days. Constant updates if possible, just to kind of fix the bugs as you guys find them. So again, go to the Discord, go to the forums, pick up the game if you don't already have it. Help us test this thing, and let's make a better game. All right?
Righto.
Yes, Dad.
Okay.
Let's go.
Hey, Sean, shut this off before they realize we're frauds. Quickly!